For years, I felt like I was stuck, trapped in a cycle that revolved entirely around my job. My identity was tied to the work I did, and I believed the only way to find freedom was to escape the 9 to 5 grind. But after years of working for others and now for myself, I've come to a realization. The problem wasn't my job, it was my mindset. In today's video, I'm sharing 5 insights that help me break free mentally and thrive no matter where I work. Let's dive in. I used to think my paycheck, promotions, and job security were entirely in someone else's hands. But the truth, that mindset was my cage. One pivotal moment changed everything. I was asked to send a harsh email on behalf of my boss, something that went against my values. In that moment, I felt like I had no choice. But looking back, I realized the issue wasn't my boss, it was my fear. The fear of losing my job kept me from seeing my options. But here's the thing, when you believe you're dependent on someone else, you give away your power. The truth is, you have more paths than you realize. One exercise that helped me was listing all my skills on paper, things I was good at that could open doors. It was a reminder that my current job wasn't my only option. So if you're feeling stuck, take a moment to evaluate your skills, your passions, and the opportunities around you. You're not as trapped as you think. Have you ever been so absorbed in something that you lose track of time? That's what psychologists call the flow state. It's when your skills perfectly match the challenge in front of you. But here's the thing, staying in a flow state requires balance. If your challenges are too easy, you get bored. If they're too hard, you feel overwhelmed. For example, I've been creating YouTube videos for 2 years now. At first, it was exciting and challenging. But over time, I realized I needed to push myself in new ways to stay engaged. So I started experimenting, live streams, collaborations, even public speaking. Think about your current work or hobbies. Are you too comfortable? So maybe it's time to scale up. Or if you're feeling overwhelmed, focus on building the skills to close that gap. A quick tip, keep a journal where you reflect on your daily activities. Note when you feel most energized and when you feel drained. Over time, you'll notice patterns that can help you adjust your tasks to find that flow. Most of us structure our lives around work. It's like we've been conditioned to believe work is the centerpiece and everything else is secondary. But what if we flip the script? Here's what I did. I started planning my personal life first. On Sundays, I block out time for things that matter to me. Dinners with friends, workouts, hobbies. Once my personal time is set, I fit work into the gaps. This shift changed everything. Work stopped feeling like the main event. Instead, it became a part of my life, not my whole life. And don't just take my word for it. Try it this week. Plan 1 or 2 personal activities ahead of time and see how it impacts your mindset. Now, some of you might be thinking, but I have deadlines and responsibilities that don't allow for this. I get it. It's not about ignoring your obligations, it's about prioritizing your happiness. Even if you can only carve out an hour a week for something you love, start there. Try this. Write down 3 things you've always wanted to try but never have. Then pick one and commit to it for a month. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be fun. You'll be amazed at how it shifts your perspective. Let's be real, setting boundaries can be tough. We're often taught to be agreeable, to say yes, to avoid conflict. But here's the thing, saying no is a form of self-respect. In my early career, I struggled with this. I said yes to every request, even when it didn't benefit me. Over time, I learned to evaluate each ask. Does this align with my goals? Will it help me grow? If not, I politely declined. And you know what? The world didn't end. In fact, people respected me more for standing my ground. I remember one moment vividly. A colleague asked me to take on a task that wasn't my responsibility. At first, I hesitated. But then I said, I can't take this on right now. That one sentence changed the way I approached work. So ask yourself, where can you set boundaries to reclaim your time and energy? Freedom and growth often come from discomfort. It's those moments when you step outside your comfort zone that lead to the biggest transformations. For me, that moment was going live on TV for the first time. I was terrified, but the experience taught me that fear and growth go hand in hand. So the next time you're faced with something that scares you, ask yourself, is this fear holding me back or is it pushing me forward? Breaking free isn't about quitting your job or making drastic changes. It's about shifting your mindset, exploring your potential, and taking back control. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, and check out my other video on habits that transformed my life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.